Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So wonderful to be with everyone. You hear okay? Sounds fine. Sounds fine to me. It's always an amazing thing to arrive at this moment, right? Like the weeks are so intense, and there's so much going on, and it's hard to take it all in. Just in the last hours, there's William Shatner going up in space, and a British Parliament member being murdered, stabbed. It's just such a complicated world we live in. And I thank our Torah every Shabbat, every day, for giving, at least for me, hopefully for many of us, maybe all of us, a little refuge. A refuge of inspiration and curiosity and truth in some kind of small t, some kind of aspirational way. And I want to begin tonight in a little bit different way than I usually do. Jason, if I can ask you to show the purpose diagram. I think it's coming. Ah, Jason, we're like a finely tuned Swiss watch. So in our Parsha, we begin chapter 12 of Genesis, and God says to Abraham, Lech lecha, go to a land that I will show you. I'll make you a great nation. I'm going to talk about this in my Dvar Torah in a little while, but I want to kind of get your juices flowing, your mind thinking. And God says to Avram, to Abram, be a blessing, hey bracha. And it strikes me that actually this, as I said, I'm going to talk about this in more depth, but this be a blessing is kind of is the very first purpose statement. You know, there's a lot of in corporate America and people who are deep in thinking about life and our mission in life. Hey bracha, be a blessing is a purpose statement. Becoming a bar mitzvah or a bat mitzvah, Winnie, is a moment of purpose. How do I think about my purpose now that I'm no longer a child? I'm becoming a Jewish adult, having no more children who are under the age of bar bat mitzvah. Okay, we as a family are in a new place of purpose. We as a Jewish community have a sense of purpose. And what is that? And God says to Avram, be a blessing. So I want to use this moment, 60 seconds, to frame a question for you all that maybe you're thinking about throughout the, as we go forward. I like to see it on this big screen. Oh, it looks so good, doesn't it? You can all see it. There's also, you have a text. You can take it home if you want. But in the middle is living in a place of higher or highest purpose. That's in the middle. Purpose. V'heyeh bracha, be a blessing. But the question is, what does that mean? And on the top and on the bottom, you have passion and superpower. As a Jewish people, this is the moment to think in our Torah, like as a Jewish people, what's our great superpower? That's on the bottom. What's our great superpower as a Jewish people? Or what's our passion? How are they different? We're going to highlight that. Sometimes each of us, our superpower might be different from what we love to do. Sometimes what we love to do is not necessarily our superpower. Or another, if you look to the left and right as opposed to up and down, there's this idea of what impact am I making in the world? What's the impact that we as a Jewish people are called to make in the world? But actually sometimes being so focused on our impact moves us away from a sense of presence and just being. This tension between doing and being. So maybe think about, I hope this is, I know it's a ton. It's way too much to give you, but it's sort of fun to try to do too much. I know we won't really fully get there, but but we're Jewish. Thank you, exactly, Beth, thank you. What's my superpower? What's the superpower for us as the Jewish people? Maybe ponder that, and we'll come back to it in a little while. Okay.
I'm thinking about a different kind of superpower right now.
Go for it, Cantor. What's that?
The power.
You have superpowers, that's for sure. Go on.
I know how to open a can of soup.
Ah, come on. Don't be so modest.
But I'm thinking about the power to bring light into this world.
Exactly. And that is a moment, perfect transition. The candles that we light every Shabbat are a reminder that each of us has a superpower. Each of us has the power to bring in light in the world. And Winnie, so I'm going to ask you and is your brother here? I don't see him, but your mom and dad. Come in, Jacob, to come up and light the Shabbat candles, because as Cantor just said, he's completely right, or I completely agree with him. The lighting of the Shabbat candles is a reminder for us as Jewish people about our sense of purpose and blessing in the world. Be a blessing. Grown up you are.
Amen. Page 12.
There's so many hands moving.
Page 13.
Sapru
Page 17. 17. Oh, no, forgive me. 14. 14.
אדוני מלך תגל הארץ ישמחו עם רבים ענן ורפל סביבת צדק ממשפט מכון כיסו אוהבי אדוני שנוא רע שומר נפשות חסידיו מיד רשעים יצילם
Last paragraph, 14. Turn to page 18 for Psalm 29. Did I make a mistake? I think I did.
17 for Psalm. Second half of Psalm 98.
Yeah.
זמרו לאדוני בכינור, בכינור וכל זמרה, בחצוצרות וכל שופר, הריעו לפני המלך אדוני, ירם הים ומלואו, תבל ויושבי נהרות עמך וכף, יחד הרים ירננו, כי לפני אדוני קיווה לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל וצדק בימים ובמישרים, ירם הים ומלואו, תבל ויושבי נהרות עמך וכף, יחד הרים ירננו, נהרות עמך וכף, יחד הרים ירננו. Page 18. מזמור לדוד.
Psalm 29.
כל הרזים, וישבר אדוני את ארזי הלבנון, את ארזי הלבנון. Page 19. Last two lines on the page. Adonai oz le'amo yitain. Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom.
Page 20, Lechadodi, page 20.
לחדודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לחדודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמעון זכור בדיבורך, ישמענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד בו שמו אחד, השם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לחדודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לחדודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם בסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לחדודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לחדודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שידברי אור אדוני עלייך נגלה. לחדודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לחדודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמונם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לחדודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לחדודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We'll turn to page 22, Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, but I just want to share a thought about Lechadodi. Lechadodi is written by Shlomo Alkabetz in the 16th century. All these Jews who had to flee from Spain in the Inquisition, and they got to Tzfat, and they had come from the Golden Age, the incredible place of America in the 1400s, I mean Spain in the 1400s, and somehow they had to flee. What was unimaginable happened. And this piyut, this poem, Lechadodi, is about, if there's so much violence and evil in the world, it must be because that God is broken. God's broken, which is a heretical thing to think. God is about oneness. But the Kabbalists were as heretical as they were faithful and reverent. And they had this idea that God was broken, but that our prayers could actually bring God together. Which is why for the Chadodi we rise, because we imagine it's a bride and groom, it's the male and female, it's the two sides of every covenant that we welcome as they walk through the door in the back of a prayer space. Our power the power of our prayers is a whisper about the faith, the hope that we have in the world, that we can make a difference, that we can bring change. That's the Chadodi. Page 22 means more surely on the Shabbat.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילה, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון וכינון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שמחתני אדוני בפעלך, במעשה ידיך ארנק. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מהוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. צדיק אתה אמר יפרח, כערב בלבנון יזכה, שתולי בבית אדוני, בחצרותינו יפריחו. אוהל בסלע, דשנים ברעננים יהיו, להגיד כי ישר אדוני, זורי ולא עברת בו.
Page 24, Shalom Aleichem.
שלום עליכם מלאכי השרת, מלאכי היום, יהי מלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. בואכם לשלום מלאכי השלום, מלאכי היום, יהי מלך השלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Please rise on page 28. Please rise. Baruch Hu. Let's offer together, blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being and skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. Let us hear you. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening.
Baruch Adonai atah Adonai amari ve'aravi.
Ahavat Olam 32.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, u'kimu mishpatim, otanu limadta, otanu limadta. Malkeinu Adonai Eloheinu b'shachbeinu, u'kumeinu nasiach b'chokecha, v'nismach b'divrei toratecha, u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki heim chayenu, le'orech yameinu, uvahem nege yomam balayla, nege yomam balayla. Ve'ahavatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olami. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael, Ohev amo Yisrael.
36. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, amen. We turn to page 40 as we offer our prayer for redemption, Michamocha.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. Sang to you the songs of joy. Who is like you, Adonai? Malchutecha ba'uvanecha, bokei hayam livnei Moshe uMiriam.
Our prayer for peace So we lie ourselves down at night. Hashkivenu 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom Leshalom Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom Leshalom Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom Leshalom Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom Leshalom. Lift us up, Adonai. You'll spread your wings over us all. Give us peace and keep us safe. Leshalom, leshalom, leshalom. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, leshalom. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, leshalom. Third line. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Leshalom, leshalom, leshalom. ותקננו בעצה טובה מלפניך ויושיענו למען שמך ויגן בידינו ויסר מעלינו אויב דבר וחרב ורעה ויגון וחרק ממנו עוון ופשע ובצל כנפיך תסגילנו כי אל שורנו מזלנו אתה כי אל חנון ורחום אתה ושמו הורצתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום ואתה ויד עולם ברוך אתה אדוני הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים.
The liturgy always has such a beautiful insight. It connects our steps in such profound and subtle and simple ways. In order to lie down in peace, hashkiveno, you got to carve out some time for yourself to feel the kind of peace, feel the shalva, the tranquility, serenity, the possibility of quiet. And that's Vishamru, page 44.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ שמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות הברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות הברית עולם.
Shabbat, it keeps us. Let's rise on page 46 for the Amidah. Page 46.
Adonai Sebatai Tivkach U'Yah Tehillateka. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. 48. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Page 50. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל מרחמים רבים, זומר טובלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו, ישני עפר. כחמוך בגבורות, ומדום אליו, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל.
52.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, ופירושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
We take a moment for our own personal private prayer, seated or standing, whatever is your custom or comfort. We'll come together for Shalom Rav in a few moments on page 60.
free to continue your private meditations at your own pace. You can also join me on page 60 for the prayer for peace. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Baruch atah Adonai המברך את עמו ישראל
With that beautiful prayer for peace on our lips, turn to page 253. Cantor will walk down and ask for names for you on the right. I'll come down the left. Before I head out, though, I actually really want to share the name of one of my and Tara closest friends, our dearest friends. Her name is Sarah Hadassah Bat Yehudit V'Daniel. A few of whom you know her, Lori Phillips, Rabbi Lori Phillips. She's very much in need of our prayers. And so I'm sharing her name because she believes and we believe that the more love, the more hope that we put out into the world, it makes a difference. So we'll come down and take your name, the names of your loved ones and friends as well.
and all those whose names we hold in our hearts, join
join me on page 253.
And as well, the names that we put into the chat. Forgive me for not reminding us. For those who are online, please send the names in.
May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
Amen. Amen. Our parsha this week is Lech Lecha. We're in chapter 12 of Genesis, and it's here that God says to Abraham, go to the land that I will show you. And then it says, Ve'escha legoy gadol, I will make for you, Abraham, make of you a great nation. But God knows that what he said to Abraham isn't so easy to understand. It wasn't so easy. Abraham naturally is wondering, go? Why? What for? What's my point, my mission, my purpose? God knows that these questions are in Abraham's mind. So, as I mentioned earlier, in 2 words, God sets forth for Abraham his mission, his tafkid or purpose. And that is the 2 words, v'heyeh bracha. At every moment, Abraham, ask yourself if your choices are consistent with this mission. Abraham, be heyeh, a blessing, bracha. Become a blessing. Let everyone in the world feel in their lives that you, Abram, and your people are a blessing to them. I have a dear friend, actually, who believes that nations are wrong, immoral, destructive. Nations do way more harm than good, according to his view. Just let people be. Live and let live. And of course, there are a lot of people in the world who feel like nations are not such a great thing. And I somewhat understand this perspective. Nations do make many mistakes, many terrible mistakes, in fact. And I, for one, am very worried about our own nation. But I raise the subject of nations, nationalism, because in our parsha, it takes front and center stage. Almost from the very outset, God and Torah envision peoples, nations, as the primary organizing principle for this world. My teacher on the Upper West Side, Rabbi Roli Matalon, recently taught and reminded me that it was last week that nationhood became an explicit and central piece of God's plan. Nations are to, quote, fill the earth. Remember God's command from chapter 1 of Genesis. Pru urvu, be fruitful and multiply, and umil'u et haaretz, which means what? Fill the earth. From the very beginning, we humans were to fill the earth. Of course, the people in the Tower of Babel didn't want to do that. They wanted everyone to be in one place. But amazingly, by chapter 10, that's a whole other subject, by chapter 10, we see that this did really happen, that the nations filled the earth. Ela mishpachot b'nei Noach l'toldotahem b'goyehem, l'toldotam b'goyehem. These are the groupings of Noah's descendants according to their origins by their goyim, by their nations. Ume'ela nifradu goyim ba'aretz. And from these, the nations branched out over the earth. Achar mabul, after the flood. So you get it that this is all just before our parsha, and nationhood is well established already. It's well recognized in the Torah. The Midrash tells us that these were the founding 70 nations of humanity. And it's right in our text in chapter 10. The 70 nations of the earth already existed, but what didn't yet exist was a command from God to any one of them to be an or lagoyim, a light unto the nations, or the heye bracha, to be a blessing. That is until our parsha. As I said, as we know in Lech Lecha, God and Torah make an amazing move. Go, Abram, to a land that I'll show you. I'll make of you a great nation, a goy gadol, and there you shall be, heye bracha, be a blessing to all the peoples of the earth. So this week, in our Torah, we begin the story of Jewish nationhood. Every year this week of Parsha Lech Lecha. This is the beginning of the Zionist dream. It's only 12 chapters into Torah. There's so many people, the Jews just woke up to a homeland 100 years ago, 150 years ago, or who knows when. Torah clearly envisions a world filled with nations. And Am Yisrael, the Jewish people, the Jewish nation, is meant to be a role model for all others. The religious and philosophical construct of nationhood is right here. For much of humanity, it begins right here. And as I mentioned earlier, yes, there are many who reject nationhood entirely. And there are many as well who are fine with the biblical vision of nations, with one glaring exception: the existence of a Jewish one, a Jewish nation. But any serious believer or serious student of the Bible must know that nationhood, including, if not actually starting with Jewish nationhood, it's at the foundation of the biblical text. What I want to focus on now, though, is the purpose that God sets out for Abram. What's the purpose of the Jewish nation that Abram is called to begin? The question, of course, is a bit rhetorical, because we've already said it. God tells Abram very directly, heye bracha, be a blessing. That's the simple purpose of a Jewish people and a Jewish state. Distill God's words to Abraham, and that's our purpose. So let's explore this idea of purpose. Earlier, I shared a purpose model, Jason, if you'll pull it up, that a friend and teacher of mine has developed over the years. So as we started at the beginning of the service, here's what this model is saying. At the very center, the heye bracha. No, not that one, Jason. The first one. Let's keep going. There you go. One more, I think. That's fine. That's fine. So at the very center, our purpose is simply to be a blessing. I don't know if this is too trite or too complicated to raise at this moment, but the idea is that around the centerpiece, these four other components will help us figure out, help us be in conversation with ourselves and with each other. Wait, am I on purpose at this moment? Or am I off purpose? Are we as a people on purpose? Or are we as a people off purpose? And these four components are, I think, a brilliant and beautiful aid to helping us think and talk about this subject. So I asked early on, anyone have any thoughts now? As a people, what is our our superpower as a people? Any thoughts about that? Lila, is that you back there? What's our superpower? I couldn't really hear what you're saying. Stand up if you would. Our culture and community are our superpower. Actually, you've got incredible company. It's a very, very important book at this moment. The name of it is Jewish Civilization. Who wrote it? Oh my gosh. You're in very important company. It'll come to me at some point. Jewish culture is our superpower. And the second point that you were saying, it was our, what? Bringing people together, a sense of unity among a diverse group of people. Bringing a sense of unity, even though there isn't uniformity. That's our superpower, says Lila. What other thoughts? Yes, Sandy. Food is our superpower. Should I wear my mask? I don't know. Food is our superpower. I don't know if you remember, Sandy, a couple years ago, more than a couple, when Dr. Larry Hoffman came to Beth-El and spoke a number of times, he talked about the power of food too. He did offer us a warning, Sandy, that lox and bagels will only keep us together for till the third generation. And I mean, he's a very funny and brilliant man, and he meant to be funny, but he also meant to offer us a very serious warning. After the third generation, the food will change. It will no longer be enough. Any other superpower? Yes, Sharon. Our responsibility to repair the world. Maybe that's actually our impact, Sharon. It could be that our superpower and our impact are very related. What other thoughts? Superpower. Resiliency. All right, that's powerful. Maybe that's also connected to our presence. Like a sense of presence enables me to move from one experience to another, and I have the resources to overcome challenges, obstacles, losses even. What else? Yes, superpower. Our family. Our family is our superpower. It could be that our family also is our passion, of course. It could be our on the right, the presence, or our being. Sometimes it's called. Family is so central. That's right. Any other thoughts? I have to say, there's one to me, I mean, there are probably like 12, but there's one glaring thought that no one seems to point to. Torah, says Martha. To be even bolder, Martha. Be even more bold. I mean, I'm not... Jen, what am I thinking? How about listen, this is a crazy idea. Yes, Gilda. Learning is a passion. Is a profound passion. Growing our minds and our curiosity, our achievements, and in that, I think Gilda also connects so much to our impact. Like the impact that we've had on the world through our creativity, our ingenuity, our brilliance in every field of human existence, right? Every field. It's amazing. It's amazing. I just want to, maybe I should frame it as a question. Like, is God relevant to any of this? Is it, Lee, do you have a thought? I mean, I know it's kind of a hard question. We can laugh. Lee, do you want to, was that a thought or no? Right. God belongs to all religions. And if we claim God as our superpower, that means it couldn't be someone else's? We can share. Great. It's great. I mean, I don't know the answer. I mean, Rabbi Kushner once said, he said, I don't really have any idea where God is. All I know is somehow he's central to the whole God darn thing. He made it very dramatic. a sense of gratitude, Martha, a sense of praise, a sense of gratitude, a sense of acknowledging that we're inadequate on our own, we can't do it all on our own, and that we don't have there's a lot that we don't control. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Thomas Cahill, I think, The Gift of the Jews. Hallelujah.
One of the great gifts that Judaism gave us is the word hallelujah. And it is true, but look, it's one of the words that is used all over.
Beautiful.
By everybody, by Christian, non-Christian.
It's beautiful. Thomas Cahill, it's a great book, A Gift of the Jews. Yeah, Jacob, is that a thought? No, it wasn't a thought. All right, so I'm gonna close, and I want to just offer a final thought, which is that that's interesting. Oh, good for you, Jason. You're helping me. We're gonna leave this aside for now. I want to just suggest that we have lots of moments in our lives in which I think our children, our grandchildren, we're like, wait, what am I doing? Is this my mission? I feel like there's something more that I want or need or should try in my life. We know lots of people who felt that way, starting with ourselves at different moments. So my hope in bringing this, one, of course, is to help us think about, what's the superpower of the Jewish people and what's the passion of the Jewish people? What's the impact that we've made, and what does it mean, our sense of being and presence? Like, one thing we didn't talk about is, what about Shabbat? Here we are, we brought Shabbat, we brought the original mindfulness program to humanity, right? I mean, mindfulness is a big deal in Western culture. Mindfulness, meditation, that's what Shabbat is. We've known this insight forever, and how hard is it in our lives? How unbelievable it is that 3,500 years ago, our God in Torah understood that there was going to be smartphones and social media, and they're going to need a Shabbat more in 3,500 years than they did then. It's stunning. Extraordinary. I mean, almost leaves me breathless. I need to close up, Martha. So my hope here as I close is to bring this even further down and more personal than what's the purpose of the Jewish people, how these four purpose components apply to us as the Jewish people. What about for us as individuals? How do we have conversations with our spouses, our parents, our children, our grandchildren about how do you see your sense of purpose? What's your superpower? Is your superpower something you love to do? Is it your passion? Or maybe you're involved in your superpower, but you don't really love it. It's not your passion. I'm not suggesting you should set aside that superpower. But these are questions. This is meant to be a model, a methodology to help us talk with each other and our loved ones, our friends. Wow, I've always wanted to have a richer conversation about, what am I doing? How can I be a blessing? How can we be a blessing? How can we live with a sense of higher purpose? All right, Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Jason. It's so hard to do this in a mask. I can't stand it. Okay, let's rise for Aleinu. What? Yeah, rise for Aleinu on page 282. Yes, Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ויוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל העולם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
287. Please be seated. As always, we remember loved ones. We think of those who have died in recent days. We're not saying Kaddish for David Amos. He's not a Jew, but he was murdered today. I believe, is it today or yesterday? I'm not clear on the moment. Today, was it? Yeah. In a Methodist church in England where he had gathered his constituents. Was a member of the British Parliament. People all over the world sent their condolences and shared their thoughts for his family. He was stabbed, as I said, at a local church. Yair Lapid sent a message, I think it was Twitter or something, from Israel. We send our deepest condolences to the family, friends, and colleagues of Sir David Amos. I'm not totally sure if that's the right way to pronounce his name. He always stood with the Jewish community, which was a true friend of Israel. May his memory be for a blessing. We do remember laid to rest in the last 30 days, period of Shloshim, Edith Rosner and Edna Swader. And the Yortzeit, if I mention someone you're here remembering, please feel free to rise. Joseph Abramson, Shirley Burke, Fanny Cohen and Morris Cohen, Rita Emanuel, Benjamin Fishman, Harry Giffords, Linda Goldenberg, Harry Herzlich, Abraham Lulav, Eleanor Markowitz, and Judy Rothenberg, Samuel Schneider, Francis Stein, and Marvin Zale. If you're here remembering someone whose name is not on the list, if I mispronounced their name, forgive me and please feel free to rise and share their name. Okay, if it's your custom to rise with the mourners, please do so. The Kaddish Yatom Mourners Kaddish is on 294. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yalma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. V'agalav izman kariv v'imru amen.
Amen.
Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnasei. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha brechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Damiran b'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and let us say one last time, Amen. All right, please be seated. A few announcements. First and foremost, thanks to Gloria Landsberg for your greeting, your ushering. Second and foremost, can you do that? First and foremost and second. Thanks to our own egg bakers, Linda Diamond, Roberta Lulav, Sandy Gretsch, and Debbie Sutton. Next, Mazel Tov to the Gruters. I'm going to call you up in a moment for Kiddush and Motzi. let's see, what is going on tomorrow morning at 9:15. Torah study begins. The Zoom will open at 9. And then Winnie, yay, your bat mitzvah begins right here at 10:30. Well, I know I made a mistake because the reason I said 7 is that every Thursday morning we have Minyan at 7:15 online. So much stuff going on. Amazing. The Midnight Run, November 1st. Midnight Run is back on November 1st at 7 p.m. So bring your stuff. Our teens will distribute warm clothing, men's warm clothing and toiletries to the homeless in Manhattan.
Wasn't that a movie, Midnight Run?
It was, but it's in our world, it has a very different meaning. Okay, there's all kinds of other stuff going on. Consult your
email.
Your email, exactly, not your text. Thank you to Cantor Adam and to Shai for the beautiful uplifting music. You guys bring it every Shabbat. Thanks to the Margaloff family for challah. And one last thing before Gruders, if you'll come up just to lead us in Kiddush and Motzi. As you do that, I want to recommend, I hope if you haven't seen a 4-minute video of William Shatner, his reaction, he was overcome, so overwhelmed, he said it, from this experience up in space for, how long was it? I think 10 minutes or something. If you haven't seen it, I'm glad you all have. May we all have a sense of awe and wonder that William Shatner expressed on when he returned down to Earth. Okay, let's pour. Oh, whoops! Wait, this is going to open easily. I pray, or not? Here it is. I bet you guys are. Here we go. Who's going to hold the Kiddush cup, Gruders? Winnie, we're so excited. You're going to do so amazing, you guys. You should all come and hear her chant Torah and her beautiful Devar Torah. All right, Winnie. We were on page 5, and I'll bring you the prayer book. Go for it, Cantor. Here's the prayer book. Forgive me. Cantor, you're ready?
Yep, so I'm ready.
Here you go. Start us off on page 5, guys. Bring prayer coffin.
You need a microphone.
Bore
Peri Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabat kosho b'yahava u'ratzon, inchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh bereshit, ki hu yom techila lemikrai kodesh, zecher litziat mitzrayim, כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת לחיים.
Hold it up.
You have to eat all of them, yes.
No, take one out. No.
Take 2 out. Take 2 out.
Yeah, sorry.
Take 2 out, hold them together.
Exactly.
They also help if you want to hold 2 together. There you go.
Bring them. There you go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. All
Have a
right.
bite.
You have to take a bite. Give one to your brother, your dad, your mom. Mazel tov. We're excited for tomorrow, Gruders. Eat. Have a bit. have some challah, and we close Cantor.
Let's turn to page 321.
321. Thank you, guys. We'll see you in the morning. Shabbat shalom all. Shabbat shalom.
Hey guys, can you hear me? Adam? If you can hear me, tomorrow the kid needs a microphone. Because we couldn't hear them at all in the video. Yeah, so that mic has to be on and
She just didn't pick it up. She just didn't pick it up, Jason. Tomorrow she will.
do we have a mic stand for them? I see a person.